Hey, Mr. Afro, how are you? And welcome. Let's have some. Let's have ourselves some light, please. Bring this one. Tao Shang Hao, when Darcy Reese, Rocky, welcome. And so I'm just starting up, and it's like taking forever. So let's see what will happen today then. Whoops, sorry about that. There. Greetings, fellow travelers. See if we can get this one straight for once and twice and once. Oh, that one is like far off. See if we can get this a little bit like so. And then we need to get this one like so. Yeah, a little bit better. But not too much though. So what am I doing today? Let's see. I saw some, I don't know if that's a sign. Sometimes I get signs and I don't know what that means, because I was like, I don't know, on Instagram or something, and it was reoccurring pictures, drawings of Stryfe. Now Stryfe is from the 90s, of course. He's like a clone, I believe, of Cable. So let's do that guy. I haven't done him in like many years. I mean, many years. So I think his name was Stryfe, right? Stryfe. Now, I remember, I've talked about this before, about the 90s villains. I'm still not sure about their powers, because, like, I mean, they always was shooting blasts from their hands and eyes and stuff, and like, but it wasn't like clear what their powers were. This was one of them, just like Apokalyps and Mr. Sinister. They were shooting stuff, but I don't know what it was though. So he's one of them. I understand that he was very powerful. I understand that he beat Apokalyps too. Right, yes he did. And that's about it though. That's what I remember about this guy. And I feel that he's disappeared like the 90s villains. Maybe he's reappeared, but it's like nobody noticed him, maybe. I didn't anyway. I have no memory of him coming back. But I know that he fought like Cable or something like this and got defeated. Of course he got killed too and came back. He was one of those guys. So let's do Stryfe. But I feel that Stryfe was kind of crazy too. He wasn't like Sinister and all these guys. They were like more. They had like an elegance to them. Well, this guy didn't. I felt that this guy was like overall crazy. Yeah, that's a thing. That's like a diagnosis from my side. Oh, okay. Stryfe of the Canaanites. Now he didn't have this virus that Cable had, and that made him, I mean, he was like Cable with all his power, no limitations, as I understand it. So like taking off the helmet would just like being like drawing Cable, and that's about it. So I need to do the helmet, of course, because I feel like the helmet is very interesting though. But I need to check out the helmet, because I can't remember the helmet, how it looked though. Yo, wait a minute. Oh, there you are. Hey Scott, welcome. Bella, welcome, or welcome. You see, I'm taking for granted that everybody speaks Swedish because they have a Swedish sounding name. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. I said this before. I don't think I'm better than anybody else, but I'm not a big fan of that guy. Let's say it like this. And it's okay. I'm not talking about his art now as an artist. I'm talking about, I feel he's been a bit cocky. What I've seen though in debates and stuff, and he had some controversy with Marvel, and then he didn't, and then he had in I don't know. But I understand that is this Liefeld's creation, Mr. Afro? I can't find a good good pic. Let's see. Okay, so he looked like that. Let's see. I can't remember how it looked though, this helmet. And the pictures I find, I always look on. I always go through Google, but they're not giving me something good. But what can we do? We need to do something, right? So let's go with this guy. Now I don't know who designed this guy, but I feel that, I mean, the helmet was a bit of Wolverine inspired, but I feel that everything was in this day and age. I'm going to try to do my own thing with it, and don't give it too much of Wolverine. I'm going to try though. A little bit of ornament. Tend to make him look hateful. And I understand he hated a lot of people, though, this guy. And now the rest of the helmet had a lot of this decoration. Yeah, I'm calling them decorations though. And there were 3 of them, right? Everybody's going, yeah, right. And 3. Need to be 3 of them, right? Yo. Difficult to see the height of this. There, we can see that it is Mr. Stryfe, right? Chat is saying yes, of course. No, you're not. There, need to be the same height. And I mean, he's looking up, so he has his chin down to the chest. This is why the perspective is a bit difficult. It's difficult to get all these the same size on both sides, but we'll get there, my friends. Okay, so that's the headpiece though. And then of course he has a suit. Hooray. And he had like an all white suit with a lot of stuff, pins and stuff, right? Yep. Okay, so JR worked with this dude. Okay. I can't remember tempo though. shoulder piece. Okay. I need a good, but I don't have a good. Okay, so he had 3 of those. Let's exaggerate. Let's pretend it's the 90s dudes, and let's exaggerate everything about this guy. Still have them big trucks outside working with the snow. It's been a lot of that lately. Tomorrow I'm going out to work. I work outside, so I work in the snow. I have no clue how it will go. But somebody's gotta do it, right? If it ain't me, it's gonna be somebody else. There, let's see, he had nothing special on his gloves, right? No, nothing special. Did he have like this kind of a... Hold on, let me talk to myself a little bit. He had a cape, right? Yeah, he did. Let's give him some of them spikes here. But kind of like, a little bit like Batman's spike. Yeah, something like that. Why not? And he had some here too. On his legs. Oh, and he had a big cape, right. He was one of these who like to have them majestic big capes. Kind of like Doom and all these dudes. No, we don't need the cape there. He has one of those things there. Hanging down. So there, now we have a pose. And we have a dude. So let's start to eat this dude. Let's start the cooking. Yeah, I know, Afro. You've said that before. But you know, this guy, he had a lot of details on his helmet. I felt I had to do it. And when I'm like comfortable with a character where I know exactly more or less how the character's detail and the suit kind of looks like, then I feel I can like be comfortable and just do the outlines and kind of know where the head is and the legs are going and the arms, and that's it for me. Then I just start to ink directly over it. I kind of like to work like that also. I enjoy to work like that. Like I said, I'm doing my own thing here with his helmet. Holy badoli, you see? Kind of difficult to have this kind of view, but I chose it like this. I can't blame anybody else for this. That's three. He had three, right? Let's count them. Yeah, that's three. We don't need more. Let's see, we need to do these ones too. You see, I kind of fail on this one, but it goes with the territory though. It's been done, nothing more we can do about it. We need the rest of the headpiece. Okay, Mr. Afro, pop quiz. Let's go for it. So this guy, he wasn't raised by the Ascani, right? Nor Jean or Scott. I remember they went to the future and raised Cable somehow. And then the Ascani was there too, and there was Rachel as an old lady. got this. It must be very heavy. When I saw these guys always reading about them and all this stuff, it's like it must be really heavy wearing this stuff. Like Darth Vader and all these dudes wearing some armor. They're not living an easy life like us. Oh, so he was raised by Apokalyps? But this is in the future, right? Because I remember there was a war between, I think, him and Apokalyps in the future. And this is the future that Cable came from, I think. Yeah, the future. Okay, so Apokalyps raised him, but then he went to war with Apokalyps. That's ungrateful. But I remember clearly when this guy killed Apocalypse. No, he didn't kill him. He put like a dagger in him, I remember. He showed up. It was a good issue. I like that issue because in the 90s people went crazy, and the guy who drew that issue, can't remember his name now, where Stryfe put a dagger in Apocalypse. He shows up. Apocalypse was very powerful in that time. Nobody can beat him in that time. And this guy showed up and put a dagger in him and was like Apocalypse didn't have a chance at all. That was kind of cool. But the art was very beautiful, I remember. I really enjoyed that art from that issue. Okay, did he have a good belt? Yay or nay? Okay. But Afro, do you remember why he went to war with Apokalyps? If Apokalyps raised him? Because I remember they went to war, these two guys. They should have given him some more color in his design, I feel. Because it was just silver, it was like... He needed some color anyways. I know we all get used to this look, but I don't know, I kind of felt that always, that he needed something more. But didn't he also feel a little bit like, what's his name? Shredder, yeah, that's it. Kind of felt a little bit like Shredder, I felt. Maybe we're not supposed to say that, but that's my feeling anyways. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Too much going on as usual, especially up here. All them pencil work that you like, Afro, it's been deleted. Deletion going on. Hold on to your wigs. There, now we can see who it is, right? Timo Stryfe. But they had in the 90s, all the new villains had like crazy names like Sinister or like Apokalyps. We just needed, and like, oh, of course we had Doomsday, wasn't he from the 90s too? And did we like have a Holocaust too? Yeah, 90s was crazy, man. Shoulder pads and like everything was exaggerated. I mean, if somebody needed to draw Wolverine, it was like, whoa, where did that hair come from? Like, the hair took up the whole room. Even Wolverine was going like, oh, I need to talk to my barber. He didn't have bad hair, he had a bad hair life, is what they say. Here's another thing that I felt was a bit odd with his design. I'm not in a complaining mood, but I feel like I think I've seen it a lot too with other characters that this is supposed to be metal that's very hard, impossible to get through. But the eyes felt like they were movable somehow. They can move the eyes through the mask somehow. I mean, it should have been like open eyelids, open like, kind of like the knights had this open space for the eyes. Hey Lurker, welcome back. Yeah, I remember X-Force had good artists, except for the guy that we mentioned before. I'm not hating on that guy, it's just that what I said, but I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy too, man. But I like the later issues of X-Force that we talked about before when they used the white suits with Deadpool. And the Apocalypse twins. Those issues were awesome. Now whatever happened to the Apocalypse twins? Yeah, yes, Afro, you're right about that. I really enjoy that series, and I'm about to read it again. And the art was awesome. You know, for me, a good story, and I said it before, you need to be a good artist. Or I'm not picking it up. But the art on those ones were awesome. They were pretty good art. And of course later they did the Uncanny Avengers with the same artist. I think Captain America and Havoc were the leader. I would talk about that too once. That it kind of bugged me when they took Havoc and the Wasp's daughter, and everybody kind of forgot about that, and they went on with their life. I don't know who to talk to at Marvel to bring that up again. I want the Avengers and X-Men going medieval on that dude that took the baby. You see, I forgot his name too. And he was like supposed to be the main antagonist on the MCU before Doom took over. And he like just stole a baby and nobody like cared. Poor baby. Yeah, that was Kang. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, Havoc should, but I like Havoc. He's one of my favorite characters. The only thing I didn't like in the 70s and the 80s and all this stuff, that they couldn't decide if he was going to be a hero or a zero, no, but a hero or like a villain. So they kept like, oh, he's the villain now, and then they kept giving him amnesia or something, and then he was like, I'm evil again. I'm evil Knievel. And the readers were like, oh no, not again. Hopefully I will not be thrown out. I don't think they throw me out. I feel that, I said it before, one of my cameras are not very healthy. Giving him the real 90s treatment there. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know who the Scarlet Centurion is, Afro, but Kang is a must. I need to do Kang. That's a very good idea, man. I really do like Kang. feel also talking about Kang, that Kang, I never could understand his story fully, because when they get a new writer, they're like, oh, but Kang was like this guy in the blah 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 century. No, he was this guy, and then shoot, man. I mean, it started with the Fantastic Four. He was this pharaoh back when, in one adventure from the 60s, and then he was this and that, and I'm like, ooh, I'm really lost when it comes to Kang the Conqueror. So I gave up. I remember seeing a YouTube. I like YouTube, you know, especially when they have these amateur documentaries about these characters. And there was one that covered Kang, and the dude who had the YouTube channel, he did a pretty good job. I felt he did a really good job. Then I mean, he was just giving us the information that's out there already, and it was like too much. They changed Kang so many times, so it's like, I can imagine the Kang himself is going like, who am I really? Marvel is like, yeah, but you're like Albert Einstein and Adolf Hitler at the same time. And they say that Moon Knight has a troubled past with his personalities. But it's nothing compared to this guy. I mean, Kang the Conqueror. Hold on. Good. We should start a petition, all of us. Start with a hashtag. Let's find Havoc's baby daughter. And then we will send all our frustration to Marvel, and so on and so on. Poor baby girl that is like out there all alone. That doesn't feel fair, right? felt also with the 90s characters, I said it before today, it's like they were overpowered and they had a lot of powers that I felt that the writers didn't understand them. I've seen them talking about them on the internet, that they were like explaining it like it's a question. It's like, and he had some whatever blasts, and he tells it like it's a question, and everybody's like, well, did he? Like, he had optical blasts. He had optical blasts. Or did he? There were more details on this guy than I expected, so it will take longer than usual. Yo, my computer don't want to. Even my computer is getting tired. Like, is it time to rest now? I was planning to do the inking kind of like when I do Silver Surfer, because this dude like wears, looks like silver though, I don't know what it is. But then I felt like, I don't know, I felt it wouldn't fit him in this pose, in this, I felt like more shadows, more darker, grittier look would kind of fit this Stryfe. Because I feel some comics, some artists draw him very clean, but in the same time I feel if he's been through a lot of battles and stuff, he becomes like almost rusty. Because I decided like that. No, but it looks kind of cool when it looks more rusty. That's what I feel. Am I out of there again? Dang it. It had to happen, and it did happen again. Let's have that part light up. Hey Afro, thank you for coming back, man. I feel this is part of the routine. Embarrassingly, it is. I'm truly sorry about that, but I don't know. I need to buy myself a new phone, I believe. There. Welcome back, Scott. Thank you for coming back. Sorry about that. I just told Mr. Afro that if it's part of the routine. Sadly, I'm saying it like it's a joke, but it isn't. There will be strife because of it. There, did we finish? Hej Åsa, välkommen tillbaka. Kul att ses igen Åsa. Jag hoppas du har haft en behaglig nystart på året och whatever. There. Stryfe looking like Stryfe. No, he don't need too much. Too much treatment, let's put it like that. There, I believe we finished a Mr. I almost said Sinister, but that would be a lie. It is Stryfe, of course. I have no memory of doing it before, so this could be the first time. But we finished! Hooray! And I was hoping that we wouldn't be thrown out, but we were. Or I mean, that my phone is like doing the stuff that it does when I'm not looking. I should look at it more often. Okay, my friends, we did Stryfe, and this is Stryfe. Let's have a look of his close-up. This is me. This is me. It's him talking though. That's good. I'm kind of pleased with him. I always wanted to do this guy, especially when I saw him a lot today. I think it was on Instagram also. Maybe I'm not allowed to say other apps' name here. Okay, my friends, that's it. Mr. Stryfe is heading off to have a sleep like everybody else. Depends on where you are, my good people. But that's it, my friends. We're signing off. Thank you for the company. Let's see what we'll do tomorrow. Now, have a very good night. Take good care of yourself. As always.